Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi. Am I excited about doing more free community service for Dimitri? No! Freaking Dimitri. It's okay though, I'm doing this to get more summoning pieces so I can, summon Mekti's weapon. It's all for Mekti. Hello. Oh yeah, I figured out when the event ends for sure. It ends 1 p.m. tomorrow, so worst case, I can add in a stream in the morning before work. So woohoo, there's time. But right now, resonant response. The power in the voice continued to amplify as it transmitted on and on. Boop. No fear. There's plenty of time left. I am determined. I have the power of caffeine on my side. After a night of rest and preparation, HIDE 404 and the survey course set off from their camp and head deeper into the contamination zone. The two parties travel across the rugged terrain of the wilderness in separate vehicles. With her motorbike secured to an external trailer, Klukai drives her other three teammates in a jeep. Pressing the comms button near the dashboard, Klukai connects to the encrypted comms channel. The voice of the communications officer speaks matter-of-factly through the speakers. Ooh! Arknight's IS-5 Fables released a new ending. Ending 4. Oh, good luck. Oh shoot! In the side stages in part 1, there's some item drops you can use to unlock some background stories in Dimitri. Oh? You know what? Having a quick recap of what it was now sounds good. On the other end of the channel, the communications officer pauses for a moment, as if pondering something. Text journals. Oh, sure. Kind of like reading those stuff for Kof and her old squad. When the exchange is over, Klukai disconnects from the encrypted channel and gestures for Andorus to take over. His potty mouth. Freaking Dimitri. Mekti's just accepting being a rickety tin can. Dang. Mekti yawns and sprawls out across the back seat, laying her head on Anders' lap. Anders pulls a blanket over her, and in a thoughtful and tender gesture, Mekti curls up comfortably and buries her head inside the blanket. We'll do Blappy and M3O skills, that is amazing. It is cute how nice Andorus is. The successors of Peter the Great. Okay. Peter the Great. The moment the channel is plugged in, loud singing in some strange regional accent starts blaring from the speakers. Mekti, originally wrapped inside of her blanket, jolts awake and pokes her head out like a groundhog. Basically, a squad used to work guarding the wall. He had some reservations about dolls from his time in the Soviet army, but one of his underlings gradually convinced him to let a medical doll they found pitch in to help. The doll turned out to be working for the very Aggards. Oh no! And a bunch of these supplies were stolen and some men killed. Ah, dang! He already had some reservations and that just like confirmed his biases. Dimitri got in trouble for it and swore he would never trust a doll again. After all, they can be ordered to lie on the behalf of their owner. Man. How's the GFL2 gacha treating me? Oh, it's nicer than some of my games. Not the nicest to me, but nicer than some games. Though it does hurt to an extent too. But on the bright side, because there's so many rerun banners, I don't feel like as pressured to summon, you know? Because I'm like, you know what, they're gonna have a rerun, I don't gotta worry too hard. Equally perturbed, Klukai turns on the microphone with a scowl. The boisterous soldiers quiet down for a moment, but they soon return to their raucous ways. She's just judging them harshly for their singing skills. Like, maybe the guy sang better, then I would understand, but because you don't, humph. Dimitri's cursing interrupts Laria's reply. It's about feeling. Oh gosh, I wonder how Dimitri would feel about Ellie and Nero from FGO. They have lots and lots of feeling. Endurus mutters softly to stop Klukai from losing her temper. A team or element that I'm trying to pull for? Not really. More like just pulling for who I like. It just happens that for some reason a decent amount of them have been ice. And right now, corrosive. Dimitri does not bother to hide his smugness as he laughs. The tunnels... the tuneless singing room zooms. Klukai turns off the speakers on board in annoyance. Oh, Byoka's just in charge of listening to it all. Oof. I still love her expressions. Dear. Now she's motivated. Sitting up rimrod straight in the passenger seat, Byoka puts on the headset somberly, as if she's monitoring information of critical importance. Having regained her peace and quiet, Mikti retreats back to the comfort of her blanket. Klukai floors aghast in exasperation. Hey, hello. Today's been a long day. But at least I have the power of caffeine on my side. Anders is still wearing her calm smile, but she lets out a soft sigh. Klukai makes no answer. The jeep continues to speed across the deserted wilderness. Wow, and I thought I'd be able to have a good nap this time. These aliens are being too much. Do they not need to sleep? You better wake up. It's time for battle. Fine, fine, I get it. It's like the sooner you finish this fight, the sooner you can sleep. Sleep. You know, sleep is good. Sleep is wonderful. Yeah, I don't need the support. I took a nap before my group meeting at 4:30 today. I slept for like maybe an hour. My good nap. Wake up, hop on Zoom. Survive. Make a thumbnail. Eat some cake and drink some coffee. Come back here. After fighting off the elids encountered on the way, 404 presses on with their journey. Anders peers outside the window and tries to ignore the conclusion her neural cloud has come to. That invalid. Hello, welcome, welcome. Despite what she just said, Anders does not wake Mekti and simply lets her turn to her other side and continue sleeping. Oh, is she enjoying the singing now? Leaning against the window and focused on the comms channel, Byaoka clearly has not heard Klukai's question. As the jeep rocks back and forth as it travels across the bumpy terrain, Byaoka's lips move softly as she hums intermittently, her bright green hair bouncing in time with the rhythm. Noticing Klukai's displeasure, Byaoka sticks out her tongue apologetically. It's gonna live in her head rent-free. Oh no, it's gonna haunt her. What a nice rest. Continue. Yeah, some things you remember them by. With a loud rumble, the makeshift fortress temporarily converted from an old building shakes violently. The exposed and bent steel structure lets out a screech. The smoke and dust cause the soldiers lying on the ground to cough uncontrollably. The young soldier firing wildly through the hole in the wall quickly falls back and wipes the soot off his face, revealing his features. Young Dimitri gasps frantically for breath. Young Dimitri? And I know, right? She's beautiful. I had to get her both her outfits. Before the soldier can finish, more gunshots and explosions resound beyond the fortress. They immediately drop to the ground. The soldier glances at the corner obscured in shadow. A burly man is slumped there, with dark crimson fluid dripping from his pierced forehead. Oof! The fluid has started to congeal, but half his body is already soaked. His eyes are half open, but utterly devoid of life. He died in the assault when dawn was near, probably trying to determine if there were reinforcements in the distance through his binoculars. And just as the sky was tinted white, the one who was searching for hope fell before the door leading to a brand new day. Oof. I am excited for Vector, but at the same time, I have no funds for her. Oh man, you know, I'm not even sure what I got. Still waiting for stuff in the mail. Actually, no, there's one thing I know for sure I got. I got some Steam games. Otherwise, I'm waiting for mail to come in. Perhaps due to fear, the young soldier's speech becomes increasingly incoherent, and his gun hand is shaking violently. The weapon that is supposed to bring courage is now nothing more than a lifeless piece of scrap metal. Dimitri looks at him restlessly, then turns his attention to the other surviving soldiers, but most of them simply stare back at him with despair in their eyes. The incessant gunfire from beyond the fortress is generating thick, choking smoke. They have been defending this position for a week, but there is no sign of any reinforcements. The soldiers no longer harbor any hope of survival. Mystery Man. Not faring much better than the others, the soldier named Nikolai seizes an opening in the enemy's fire and dives behind a heavy machine gun mounted by the wall. He promptly pulls out an ammo belt from a nearby box. He's so chill about this. After securing a few loose bullets on the belt, he feeds it into the machine gun and confirms that the weapon is in order. Nobody answers him. Explosions erupt continuously in the distance. Bomber planes whiz past him overhead, and the air raid siren is deafeningly loud. The intensity of the dense gunfire pales in comparison to the cacophony all around. Yo, super good luck for your pulls! Nikolai speaks softly, but the resoluteness in his voice pierces through the miasma of hopelessness in the fortress. During the reload break, Nikolai slings the rifle off his shoulder and tosses it over to Dimitri. Dang, this guy's so cool. Dimitri waves the rifle in his hands. He then shakes the nerves off himself and turns to his other comrades. Under Dimitri and Nikolai's leadership, the young soldiers once again muster their resolve and start preparing for another round of defense and counterattack. Look at Dimitri, so full of hope. The impassioned cries in his memory blend into the alarm sounding in the present. Dimitri hurriedly stuffs the dog tag back in his pocket. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, how bad can this be? Starting assist mode. Hey, over here. Something feels off about them. Received. Now establishing new combat zone. You know, they may be sus, but we got this. It'll be fine. No need to add more. This is all good. Yeah, see? So far, so good. Woohoo! Yay. So pretty. When was the last time I did something manual in this game? Earlier today. For one of those stages from part 1 where I had to destroy 2 enemies in 1 turn. I had to wait for the enemies to spawn before I could kill them off. I was like, gosh freaking darn it. I wish I had a V6 crew. I do not. I'm using the power of friendship. And now cognitive dissonance, even though we are different. From 1 to 10, how much do I like Wawa? I gotta give her a solid 10 out of 10. I liked her enough to buy her outfits, and I want to summon her more and more and more. Eventually, I want to max her. Heck, she was the second one I gave a ring to. Hide 404 arrives at the target settlement. The old and dilapidated walls are eroded from years of exposure to wind and sand, and the smell of decay permeates this modestly sized settlement. Wow, was an early fan favorite of GFL 1. I understand. I see it. Without waiting for Klukai to finish, Bylka quickly slithers over to her side. She deserved the ring. And as much as I love coffee and tea, I'm willing to drink hers. I might end up with a stomachache, but you know it's worth it. Like, I can taste the love. It's so unique. So far, I've given rings to Cheongju, Macchiato, and Klukai. I want to give one to my douche of Naya. Klukai and Bylka begin their search for near the settlement. Her cooking ability was also a meme for a while. Klukai frowns as she peers over at Bylka, who's bouncing up and down and waving at her. But she still circles around a boulder and heads toward her. A body pillow, some virtual idol. I want to see what body pillow she's found. In her defense, most dolls can't cook because they typically are only good at things that they're specifically programmed for. And while they can learn, it isn't super efficient. Understandable. I know, right? VTubers are canon and GFL too. Byoka leads Klukai over to where several strange rock piles lie exposed on the ground. The dark rocks are scattered all over, their natural edges and jutting corners giving them an ominous air. Byoka walks through the scattered rocks and stops by another pile. Man, if they found a Misaki body pillow, I hope Klukai wouldn't shoot it. Like Klukai, you and I have a decent bond, I think. She does have a covenant ring for me after all. But she would never, she would keep it. Oh yeah, the one meeting that I had earlier today regarding the mailroom position that I signed up for. Gosh freaking darn it, it's not the last meeting. Round 4 isn't the end. Seeing Byoka's please shower me with praise face, Klukai sighs in defeat. I'm hoping round 5 will be the end, if not, gosh darn it. It's like, oi, do not delay the inevitable. A body pillow with a picture of a body pillow on it. I love it. Exactly, more meetings than that Godzilla movie. That movie was surprisingly accurate. Klukai and Byoka continue with the investigation along their planned route, but they find nothing else noteworthy. Like, the funniest part is I already know I have the job. So I'm like, come on. Please be the end already. Gimme. Like, stop playing hard to get. Stop playing tsundere. Byoka grins widely as she watches Klukai march angrily ahead. He went over her heart. Aww. As Klukai approaches the large rock, she realizes that Mikti isn't actually dozing on it, as she initially thought. In fact, Mikti is perched on top of it to study a jeep covered in sand that's behind the rock. Enders is also peering inside the vehicle through the window. Also, depending when I start that other job. I might be able to squeeze in going to another con. I kind of want to hunt down that one column later on. Hey, hello, welcome. How you doing, Ara? Startled by Klukai's voice, Mikti, who is climbing off the rock, loses her footing and slides right off, landing on her backside. Ow. Pain, go away. Doing your best to hide from Weber. Oh my goodness, the Weber scuff is Too OP. Holy cow. Ooh, how's metaphor? Or Fantasio? Kukai circles over to Andres' side and spots a familiar logo on the white down front door. The Jeep is covered in bullet holes and scratches. Man, breaking down the window would be tempting. Disappointed by the way things have turned out, Byakuya contacts the Survey Corps and informs him of 404's discovery. Ooh, it's really good so far. Still early on it, but the game started to open up a bit. If you like SMT sort of stuff, particularly Persona, you'll like this. Very much more fantasy-oriented, however. Ooh! Okay, that is tempting. Despite her complaints, Mikti still walks over to the vehicle door and takes aim at the lock. With a burst of gunfire, the lock is penetrated by the bullets. Wake me up when it's time to leave. It's like my job here is over. Good night. Passive and have a time mechanic during the day and choices. Surprisingly, I've never played Persona yet. Only played some of the other, like, Shin Megami Tensei kind games. The ones where you go around with those, devil demon thingies. Kukai pulls the door open, and something dark immediately tumbles out. It is the corpse of a man. The hands are clutching a gun tightly. His army uniform is covered in a large patch of dark brown, especially around the abdominal area. Ah. Anders tries her best to steal her neurocloud as she takes in the pockmarked vehicle and the scenes in the interior. She's never seen such a grisly sight in the green zone. Hopefully it's not super strict. I would also play without a guide. And then suffer. Okay, let me adjust that tiny bit. Alrighty. Anders scrambles to gather all the information available, but she cannot stop her voice from wavering. My computer had an update yesterday, which destroyed some settings. Just a bit of settings. Byakuya watches Anders with some concern. Like all updates, you're supposed to fix things. How dare you break some other stuff instead? Taking in Byakuya's unease, Kukai ponders for a moment, then simply gives out a piece of advice. Hey, hello, welcome.
私たちには関係ない。わかった。残りの死体を引きずり出して。
No, it's like the last day for the event itself. The store is open for like a week. The soldiers of the survey corps have arrived at the scene. Dimitri walks up to the jeep and takes a look. Kukai backs up 2 paces to keep some distance between Dimitri and herself. OBS gave you a panic attack not working earlier. Oh, I hate that so much. For some reason yesterday I kept on like not reading my key. I was like, oi. Oi. OBS-kun, how freaking dare you? After giving the order, Dimitri circles around the jeep and studies it closely with another subordinate in tow. 300 pulls saved up for Vector. Ooh, nice. I give you so much credit for being able to save up that much. I almost fell for the end date because I thought it was legitimately in May. Dimitri calmly voices all of his observations while the soldier next to him jots them down one by one. At this moment, there was no sign of Dimitri's former temperance and surliness. His features are marked by the composure and maturity of a veteran on the battlefield. Finally, he returns to the front of the vehicle and watches as his subordinates extract the corpse trapped in the back seat. Ah, what wonderful things to find. Look what you find, dead bodies. Oh, and people dressed in weird robes. Dimitri are working together. Share what you found. Dimitri has not raised his voice, but his impatience is apparent. Paying no more attention to Klukai, he walks off and calls his superior on this communicator. Hey Dimitri, if you're working with someone, you gotta be on the same page.
MIA とされていた第7環境調査隊1364小隊の車両および兵士3名の遺体を発見しました。丁重に弔ってやれ。ロクサット主義の未来のために犠牲となった英雄たちだ。
The future of Rosartrism.
それとですが、順位改めて進言します。やはり今は部隊を撤退させ、増援の到着とともに任務を再開すべきです。理由は？九段の兵士たちはいずれも銃撃による致命傷が死因です。彼らの車両には調査隊のマークがついており、3名とも軍服でした。賞金ハンターやバレアグが彼らに対峙するとは思えません。記録にはない敵性勢力がこのエリアに存在し、意図的な襲撃を仕掛けたものだと推測します。
The silence on the other end of the line makes Dimitri restless.
順位、私は命が惜しくてデタラメを言ってるんじゃありません。今回の任務は予想。
Yeah, something's up.
ディミトリー総長、イエローエリアに銃規制はない。たかが3人襲われただけでは何の証拠にもならん。それにだ、君のいるエリアは物資に乏しい。孤立した調査隊にバリアグが略奪を働いても何ら不思議ではない。
Mr. Survey Corps Warrant Officer, are you in on this? I hope you're not.
闇雲な命令は任務の足を引っ張るだけです。1364小隊は全員が MIA。こちらも戦死率は3割を超えている。増援なしでは任務遂行など不可能です。ここで立ち止まるわけにはいかないのだ。死ぬ覚悟ならとっくにできてる。だが部下をクソみたいな計画のために犬死にさせるのはごめんだ。今の発言は反逆罪とも取れるぞ。言葉を慎みたまえ。このエリアの調査は他と比べて随分と遅れをとっている。
元新ソ連軍の武闘派だ。調査隊、路線防衛軍。それが立場の危うい我々に残された最後の居場所なのだ。武闘派の失脚は何も戦争だけが原因では
More at stake here than short-term resource allocation, huh?
そのものが残した爪痕も深い。物資と人員配置の不自由さがその最たる例だ。
Dimitri falls silent. The URNC insignias on his teammates' uniforms around him are suddenly quite an eyesore. And here he thought he'd already gotten used to the change.
今回はこの辺にしておこう。任務を全うしてくれ。一番近い増援を呼んである。予定よりも早く到着するはずだ。
After a brief pause, the warrant officer adds,
安全にはくれぐれも気をつけろ。無事帰還できることを祈る。
After the call ends, Dimitri stows his communicator away in silence. The bulky and stuffy protective suit is getting suffocating. A soldier who has been waiting for him to finish the call walks up to him.
総長、遺体は全て回収しました。検視はまだですが。
わかった。今行く。
Oh man, I wonder how long they were in those jeeps. Or in the jeep for. By the time Dimitri returns to the jeep, he's already regained his composure. The dolls of Hyde 404 and the soldiers of the Survey Corps are standing around the corpses.
総長、必要な撮影は終わりやした。検視始めますか。
俺がやる。
The soldiers move aside to make space for Dimitri. He silently approaches and squats down by the bodies. He rummages through their clothing thoroughly, taking great care to also scrape away the collapsed crystals formed on the wounds. His hands move efficiently but with gentle respect.
タグはどこだ。
After a lengthy search, he finally fishes out 3 pieces of paper covered in stains in their pockets.
使えるものは回収して遺体を埋めろ。それから身につけてる小物も回収しておけ。持ち運べるようなやつだ。遺族に渡しておかない。
Dimitri falls back several paces and moves over to the jeep, then lays all the scrunched up pieces of paper that he just found on the hood of the vehicle. Klukai and Andres huddle in for a closer look. Dimitri shoots him a glare but does not stop them.
3枚とも同じ内容。
なあ。
ところどころ。
Man, I'm not even sure there's gonna actually be backup at this point.
地図？地図に必要な要素はないね。
But even if backup doesn't come, at least Hyde 404 is super duper
そ
efficient.
れにこの数字の羅列とオリジンって単語原点のことかな。
Andres studies the numbers next to the markings on the piece of paper.
座標でもなさそうだね。
軍の暗号が一発で解けてたまるかよ。
あんたは何か分かったの？
Lukai's question has obviously touched a raw nerve, as Dimitri immediately flies into a flustered rage.
何見てやがる。隊ごとに暗号の規則が違えんだよ。情報漏洩を防ぐためだ。俺たちは単なる臨時編成だからな。環境調査隊のルールなぞ知らなくて当然だ。
Unable to make heads or tails of the notes, Dimitri puts them away for now.
3人が1枚ずつ持ってたってことはかなり重要な内容であるはずよ。
んなことは分かってる。
Dimitri dismisses Klukai's observation. He checks the time and looks up at the sky, then turns to address his subordinates.
もう日が暮れる。さっさと片付けて集落でキャンプを張るぞ。この辺は物騒だ。今夜から見張りを倍に増やせ。順位の話じゃ増援はもう出発したそうだ。野郎ども、あと少しだ。援軍と合流できる。
Ah, yeah, promotions and pay raises await you guys.
クソみてえな生活とおさらばできる。頂上列車に戻れば昇進間違いなしだ。はっ。
Dimitri is relieved to see that his subordinates' morale has not suffered too much. Just as he's about to leave, Klukai speaks up.
ディミトリ
なんだ、用もないのにフラフラするな。
Klukai jabs a thumb into his side.
何が言いたい？話があるならここでしろ。
どの死体にもドッグタグがなかった。本当にここで話すつもり？
Dimitri raises an eyebrow. He walks off to the side and gestures for Klukai to follow him.
ブージャムの体内から発見されたドッグタグは彼らのものね。でも死体には生き袋に荒らされた形跡がなかった。
おい、ここはイエローエリアだぞ。タグをなくしてたっておかしくはねえさ。
Dimitri, let her
私
cook.
の知る限り、軍人は何があってもドッグタグを手放したりしないはずだ。
Like, at least you're out for this part.
お前みてえなガラクタに何がわかる？
Shh, shh, Dimitri.
働け。余計な詮索
Dimitri,
をする
stop
な。
it. Clearly unwilling to continue this conversation, Dimitri storms off.
ディミトリーさん、現実を受け入れられないんだね。
Dimitri?
明らかに不自然な点を見て見ぬふりするなんて。
Delulu is not the Salulu right now.
厳しいね。来るかい隊長は。こっちはどうする？近くでキャンプを張ろうか。そうして、私は集落に戻ってリバに連絡する。ミスティと美容家にはパラデウスのこと口外しないよう言っといて。はーい。
And now it's camp time. At night, most of the Survey Corps soldiers have already turned in. The few who are on sentry duty and the dolls of Hyde 404 work together to patrol the areas surrounding the settlement. Unable to go to sleep, Dimitri takes out the dog tags again.
ニコライ、俺だ。開けろ。
Dimitri knocks on the door to a room in the dorms. His grin widens when he sees his friend. Nikolai freezes for a second before letting him in.
静かに。規則を忘れたのか。
別にいいだろう、そんなもん。
Dimitri plunks himself down on an empty bed, while Nikolai sits down on the desk in the center of the room and picks up the book he was in the middle of reading.
情報学原理。相変わらず頭でっかしてな、お前は。今時紙の本か？ま、頼りにならない機械よりはマシだけどな。前に一緒に戦った機
The way he called his buddy a freaking nerd.
ソ連軍に接収されて権限を書き換えられた途端、俺のことなんざ忘れちまいやがった。こっちはペットみたいに可愛がってたんだぜ、あのちっこい偵察機を。
ディミー、声が大きいよ。
あったよ、大声出さなきゃいいんだろ。
Dimitri takes the empty dorm room and slaps a wooden bed frame absentmindedly.
この量ももうお前だけが。
うん。昨夜除隊して帰ったやつが最後だったよ。
お前は？
やるべきことをやるだけだ。
Nikolai scribbles a mark on his book.
のんきなもんだな。カーター将軍が失脚して、お前の実家にも影響があったはずだろう。
まあね。でも年寄りが一線を引くのは当然のことだ。何しに来たんだ？僕の家を心配しに来たのか？
実はだな。
Dimitri pulls a piece of paper out of his pocket and gives it a wave. Nikolai grows still.
辞令だ。今朝反応された。こっから数年は辺境だ。その後もどこに飛ばされるか知らねえ。
どうして？君の階級ならここに残れたはずだ。
残るのがいいとは限らないだろう。昔からの腐れ縁どもと島流しされんのも悪くない。
Exiled?
近い将来、頂上列車ってのが建造されるらしい。で、俺たちはそれを守る防衛軍の予備部隊ってわけだ。
Ah, the Great Wall Railway.
よく考えてみろ。がっぽり稼ぐチャンスだぜ。人儲けしたら仲間と軍を抜けてビジネスでもやろうと思ってる。
軍を辞めるのか。
まあな。残る理由もない。今までは戦う目的があった。今はカーター将軍も将軍についてた KCCO の連中もいない。みんな辞めちまった。軍に至って何をしていいかわからねえ。
軍にいることだけが戦いじゃない。
何言ってんだ。軍がなけりゃ俺たちは誰のために戦えってんだ。
守るべき者さえいれば軍人は軍人であり続ける。たとえどこにいようとね。ディミ、辺境防衛もいいけど。
I do love how he gave Dimitri a nickname, I'm assuming, Dima. Hearing the disapproval in Nikolai's words, Dimitri gently smiles, slowly disappears.
ニコライ、俺は喧嘩しに来たんじゃない。別れを言いに来たんだ。
別に喧嘩するつもりはないよ。事実を言ったまでさ。
事実？寝ぼけてんのかお前。死んでいった連中を切りかける人間はいねえ。生き残った連中も左遷か除隊だ。
Dang, demoted, dismissed, or even court-martialed. Wow.
俺たちみてえな鉄砲玉はな、ありがたく辺境防衛を拝命すんのがお似合いなんだよ。
In a rage, Dimitri marches up to Nikolai, tears off his dog tag, and throws it down on the desk in front of his friend.
これを見ろ。ドッグタグは戦場で俺たちの存在を唯一証明できるものだ。それがどうだ。エンブレム、部隊番号、コールサイン、何もかも変わっちまった。お前はこのタグに書かれてるのが俺だと言えるのか。え？
そんなの身分の証明でしかない。
You are you, Dimitri.
ディミトリー準尉。
バカ言うな。俺は身も心も新ソ連人だ。だが新ソ連はもう新ソ連じゃなくなる。これからは
The KCCO was a neo-Soviet army. Carter was the general in charge, and he and his supporters were against the neo-Soviet leadership. We're starting to work with other countries and start moving towards founding the URNC. Given that the KCCO was just fighting against those countries and WW3 a few years prior to GFL1, and the war ended with a peace treaty, not a victor. Ah. Just ah. Dimitri pants heavily as he glares at his friend, but Nikolai simply gazes earnestly back at him, his face still utterly calm.
とにかく俺はもう夢を見るのはやめたのさ。周りにいる連中と俺自身を守って、このクソったれな世の中を生き抜いてやる。お前も後のことを考えた方がいい。カーター将軍の隊はほとんど粛清されたんだ。残ってもいいことはね。叶うあてもない理想と信
I hope this isn't his last conversation with Nikolai. Dimitri puts away his dog tag stiffly.
俺が言いたいのはそれだけだ。じゃあな。
When Dimitri reaches the door, Nikolai, who has been silent the whole time, calls out to him.
ディミ、
どうした？
Thinking that his friend wants to make peace with him, Dimitri's voice softens. But when he looks back, he sees Nikolai standing ramrod straight, pointing at his chest.
それは本当に君の本心
The way of life as a soldier reminds you a bit of Casdo, especially the dog tags, where names can only be remembered through their dog tags for mercenary. Yeah. Dimitri finds himself back in the present. He looks down at the dog tag that used to belong to Nikolai, then at the soldiers sleeping soundly not far from him. Ah, so it was his buddy. Aw, man. Some of them are comrades in arms who served the Neo-Soviet Union alongside him on the battlefield, while others are rookies who enlisted with lofty ideals. Yet here they are, all huddled together in the ruins of an abandoned settlement on this night. He lets out another sigh and stows the dog tag away.
あ、そうだ。
KCCO's leaders wanted to finish the job and worked to essentially restart the
生きてる。
World War III but failed, and then made a last-ditch effort to perform a coup, which was also unsuccessful. Dang, wanting to finish the job that badly, huh? And now mind remap. To bow down and be tamed is to be closer to destruction than the destruction of one's existence. Okay, starting off fighting first thing. I don't need the other stuffs. Dimitri is really determined. And then the URNC was formed, so the Neo-Soviet Union no longer exists as its own entity. Target limited, moving forward. Yay, I can finally go back and lie down. Beep beep, beep beep beep. Or not, no sleepy time yet. After fending off the elites that attacked them along the way, Klukai walks aside while the team is resting up and answers a call from Leva with obvious displeasure. 10 whole hours late.
管理局にいる割に時間の管理はできてないよね。まあまあ、そうしょっぱなから怒らないで。私にだってれっきとした仕事。
Very, very sus.
連絡が遅れたって変じゃないわ。ハイド404メンバー規則。通信と会議について第24条。事情により会議の参加や通信が困難な場合、他の参加者や通信相手に理由を説明の上、会議もしくは通信の代替時間を明確に提示すること。もう一度繰り返そうか。来る会はルールが多すぎるのよ。覚えられっこないわ。あんたたち一人一人がエリート人形としての自覚を持っていれば、おのずとそんなルールも必要なくなる。半ページくらいしか規則がなかった時もうまくやってたじゃない。それは昔の話。今は私が隊長よ。
Back then there was like half a page worth of rules. How many pages are there now?
誰が不安よ。もういいわ。本題に入って。
Leva chuckles at Klukai's huffiness. Having succeeded in riling her up, she decides to call it a day.
映像記録は全部見させてもらったわ。レナが集めた情報によれば、その石はパラデウスが残したものに間違いないわね。集落の死者の服装も構成員のものと一致する。おめでとう。ようやく進展があったわね。
Yay, omedetou.
これのどこがめでたいのよ。進展がなくてもしかめっ面、あってもしかめっ面。まったく世話がや。
Oh, mighty leader, Klukai.
口の聞き方がなってないわよ。リバ隊員。それでパラデウスは一体何を？ネートが建築学でも始めたとか？まだ調査中だけど、パラデウスが人間の構成員を洗脳してるのは確かよ。洗脳された人間は自身のことをユナイタスと呼んでるわ。あの石の山だけど、壊される前はおそらくこんな感じ。
Oh man. Between the two, I'm gonna choose Klukai. Just because if I was under Dimitri, he'd be so offended because I like the dolls. And he'd be like, no dolls. Leva sent an image to Klukai.
これは石の塔。彼らの何らかのシンボルよ。パラデウスはこれでユナイタスを従わせて
Ooh, a totem.
実験に利用しようとしてる。そして
Super fancy.
その目的は達成された。
何のために？従わせるだけならネートの武力制圧で十分じゃない。
来るかいって人間のことちっとも分かってないのね。私たちは理性に従って行動するけど、人間は精神や感情に影響されがちなの。それに無理やり協力させて突発的状況を警戒するよりも、精神的に制御した方が簡単で確実でしょ。人形で例えるなら権限の書き換えかしらね。通常の世界からパラデウス名義に書き換えるの。
人間の学者にでもなったつもり？
来る会よりは詳しいかな。ほんの少しだけど。
つまりパラデウスは以前にも増して厄介になったってことね。
そうね。組織としては極めて
An extremist group.
ネイトの戦闘力は上がる一方、さらに理性を失ったユナイタスときた。レナとカリンは別の調査で手が回らないの。
Exactly. It's like your gotcha addict is illogical. It's like, nah, 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 nah. It's a way of life.
いてくれて助かったわ。
そんなに危険なら前に言ってたもう一組の増援は
You
どう
never
なったの
stop.
よ。
もうすぐもうすぐ。多分来る会なら気に入ると思うよ。
え？
Three. With an ear-splitting burst of static, the comms line breaks down.
よりによってこんな時に。
Kukai recalls what Leva just said. Well pleased? What kind of reinforcement would make her well pleased? 404s always prefer to work on their own. The way Kukai sees it, seeking external help is a show of weakness, so she will never consider an option unless absolutely necessary. 404 are extremely unlikely to accept aid from outside to begin with, and the chances of Kukai appreciating the aid are even more minuscule, unless... A figure appears in Klukai's neural cloud, but she soon dismisses the idea. No, it couldn't be her, or she would have responded with feigned nonchalance. But even as Klukai refuses to entertain the possibility, she deliberately reduces her processing speed so that the figure can linger just a little longer in her neural cloud. In any case, she'd better ask for more clarification from Leva, so that she won't be distracted from her mission because of any unnecessary expectations. Just as Klukai is about to send another comms request, Andorus walks over to her.
隊長、サーバーに繋がらなくなっちゃったみたい。信号がすごく弱くなってる。しばらく遠隔通信とメンタルバックアップに影響が出そうだね。多分コーラプスストームのせいだと思う。
Andrews looks over at the survey cores nearby. Dimitri's is talking to his subordinates.
よかったら聞いてこようか。今は調査隊の軍用回線を使ってるけど、向こうも同じ状況ならあまり本体から離れない方が良さそうだし。私が行くわ。ミスティと美容家に勝手に行動しないよう伝えて。はーい。
Kukai approaches the survey cores and notices that a few soldiers that Dimitri was talking to have split into two groups and started loading their equipment onto their assigned vehicles. Meanwhile, Dimitri is giving more orders to another subordinate.
隊の人数が減ると危険性が増す。警戒を怠らせるな。受信増幅装置は最大出力。それと兵たちと404に伝えろ。臨時基地局を建設し終わるまで通信指示範囲から出るなとな。はっ、総長。よし、行け。
After Larian is gone, Klukai walks over to Dimitri.
受信増幅装置は限界みたいね。
じゃなきゃこんな時に部隊を分散させるか。ここはもともと電波が悪い上にコーラプスストームが頻発するエリアだ。上との連絡もつきやしねえ。臨時基地局を建てなけりゃ MIA の仲間入りだ。
ツーマンセルは危険よ。この状況だと4人チームが妥当だと思うけど。
当たり前だ。だがこの人数でどうしろってんだ。部隊にある良さそうな装備は全部持たせた。 それにな、あいつらは俺が鍛えたんだぜ。兵士一人で3人力だ。
ここはレッドエリアにかなり近い。今までとは比べ物にならないほど複雑な環境なのよ。慎重になるべきだわ。
Yeah, the event ends in over my time zone anyways. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. There's time, there's hope in the world. I made sure to put it through the time zone converter just in case. Once the preparations are complete, the soldiers tasked with constructing the temporary base station split off from the main force and set out to carry out their mission. Meanwhile, a small surveillance drone is hidden behind a piece of cover not far away. Its indicator light blinks as it records everything that's transpiring. The clear visual feed is displayed on Blue Sphere's monitor.
分散した部隊の追跡を。
Well, good luck to the splinter groups. Even though the GPS is severely hindered by the terrible signal reception, the Survey Corps and Hyde 404 still painstakingly conducting the environmental survey.
総長、両チームからの信号をキャッチしました。無事、臨時基地局を建設できたようです。信号の強度も回復しました。外界と通信可能です。建設地にたどり着いてないチームもいますが、彼らとも連絡が取れています。
よし、上出来だ。完了したチームにはその場で待機させろ。ありゃあくまで臨時だ。息袋に破壊されないよう気をつけろ。ブージャム系の対応不可能な事態に遭遇したら自身の安全を最優先し本体に連絡させろ。
はっ、総長。
On the cold digital monitor, two specks of light flicker steadily like stars in the night sky. They may be faint, but their presence is unmistakable. Dimitri wishes sincerely that the stars obscured by the gloom will get to light up the night sky again one day. Okay, let's see what the warrant officer says this time. Boom! The jeep is hit by a strong impact. Even the communicator is knocked out of Dimitri's hand, falling underneath the seat. Through the window, he sees that the vehicle has collided with his is also part of a pile-up collision. The actual vehicle that came under attack has skidded to a halt with blown-out tires and heavy smoke. Well... A group of vehicles have appeared in the distance, followed by a vicious fire assault. The dolls of Hyde 404 have already leapt into action, diving behind cover and exchanging fire with their attackers. Dimitri does seem like a good leader, but a little bit... Okay, under the circumstances, he might be a little too nice to his boys. It's like, you know what, boys? You want to sing? Let's sing. You want to drink tonight? Okay, let's drink tonight. Wah! Ambush! Quick, hide! But at least it keeps morale high. Ooh, beautiful. I love how it's just, they're just all taking each other out. Ta-da! Having repelled the assault for the time being, Dimitri directs his subordinates and the dolls of 404 to clean up the battlefield. After some thought, he walks over to Klukai.
おいお前、来るかい。くそ、呼びづらい名前つけやがって。
Klukai and Andorus, focused on inspecting the wreckage of an enemy mechanical unit, do not bother to look up.
何？
前に不明勢力に襲われたと言ったな。
Oh, now he wants to talk.
待って。
あ？
アンドリス、結果は？もう少し部品と仕様の確認中。ミシュティと美容家が他の残骸を調べに行ったの。あの子たちからのデー
Yeah,
タ
it's a
も監視
start,
しないと。
using her name finally.
了解。なるべく早くね。
Leaving Andorus to work in peace, Klukai rises to her full height.
検査したけど、機械に明確なマークはないわね。一般的な PMC の機械を改造したんでしょう。改造手法と部品データが高確率で一致すれば、同一勢力と見て間違いないはずよ。
さっきは人間兵もいたぞ。死んだか逃げたかのどっちかだが、お前らの時は人間はいたのか？
いなかったわ。改造された機械兵器だけよ。明らかに火力が強化されてる。それに人間兵の武器も高性能だった。
Klukai peers down at the dents left by the bullet that hit her on the arm.
経験上、バリア具や賞金ハンター程度じゃあんな装備は無理ね。
ああ。
総長、報告します。敵兵の遺体をくまなく調べましたが、所属を示すものはありませんでした。
わかった。武器、資源、防護装備、何でもいい。使えるものは回収しておけ。
しかし、非正規は暴発する危険性もあります。規則に違反するのでは。
こんな時に規則もクソもあるか。使えるもんは片っ端から使え。
Ooh, we got super lucky on Mikti and her weapon banner. Ain't nice. I'm still going for a weapon.
隊長、ディミトリーさん。
Weapon in one temple and herself in two temples. Holy cow.
大体同じコネクターで射撃管制コアに接続されています。パーツはよく見る軍用
That is amazing.
ネットで製造ロットを確認しようと思ったんですが。どうしたの？信号が途切れちゃいました。
なんだと？
Dimitri rummages through his pockets for his communicator, but then he remembers it has fallen under the seat in the previous battle. Klukai confirms Andorus' observation after checking the connection herself.
確かに途切れてる。
Well, no signal.
バカな。臨時基地局を建てたばかりだぞ。信号が弱まるわけが。
Dimitri rushes back to the jeep in disbelief. After searching for a moment, he finds his communicator and accesses the signal interface. The digital screen is now pitch black. There is no sign of the blinking lights. 2 hours ago.
どう？計画は順調？
Ah, this side again.
はい。一部変化はございましたが。
変化？新しい増援でも呼ばれたの？
いいえ。調査隊は信号が弱まったと知ると、いくつかのチームに分かれて臨時基地局を建設し始めました。彼らは予想以上に慎重なようです。
いいニュースとは言えないわね。分散した部隊も一人残らず片付けるのよ。
承知しました。マグニセキュリティについてですが、この地でパラデウスと行動した経験はあるものの、複雑な気候と活発な息袋の影響で地形を把握しきれていません。今はブージャムの追跡にも人員を割いています。調査隊の全ての動きを監視するのは困難です。
罠をすり抜けた魚のリスク。私が言わなくてもわか
The
る。
danger of fish that slips the net.
引き起こしたトラブルのこと忘れちゃったの？
いいえ、すでにあなた様のご命令通りマグニセキュリティに攻撃を命じております。エリアに信号管制を施しました。 軍用回線を用いても外部との連絡は不可能でしょう。
まずまずってとこかしら。確実な方法とは言い難いわ。ビーコンや臨時基地局がある限り突破される可能性は残るわけでしょ。ブルースフィア。
Cocoon's demeanor shifts ambiguously. Every word seems to be a warning thinly veiled in humor.
まさか対策を用意してないわけないわよね。
あくまで応急手段です。ご指示通り分散した調査隊員の捜索、殲滅および通信妨害は継続してまいります。
そう、それならよかった。そうだわ、ちょっとしたアドバイスがあるんだけど聞きたい？
何でしょう？
セシト&ファルベンからの命令だけど、必要時には保険を使え。
The last resort?
使うか否か、使うタイミングは任せるわ。最後まで手際よくお願いね。保険といえどかなりリスキーだから。当局に目をつけられたら説明に困るもの。同じ命令をマグニセキュリティにも伝えてあるわ。彼らに起動権限の異常をお願いすればいいから。
かしこまりました。
それじゃ頑張ってね。
Before the comms line is terminated, Cocoon suddenly taps a screen.
あ、そうそう。上が調査隊にまた増援を派遣したわ。1日か2日もあればそちらに着くはずよ。もう随分と近づいてるみたい。
Oh, so they are getting reinforcements.
気づかれないようにね。
Wow.
昔みたいに私に感謝するといいわ。
Luca just wants to be the best, the very best that no one ever was. Anomalous projection. The incomprehensible image gained meaning the moment light shined on it. Having evaded the incessant pursuit of an unknown force, the Survey Corps in Hyde 404 are now taking temporary refuge in an abandoned settlement that they have chanced upon. The settlement is shielded by hills to the southeast, so the dolls of Hyde 404 are currently monitoring the surrounding areas from their respective hiding spots on the other three sides. Considering the extent of damage that Mikti has suffered, Klukai has paired herself up with her.
うわ、ますますおっかないよ。一体どこの誰なんだろう。来るかい。またどこかで恨みでも買ったの？
Klukai, did you antagonize somebody again, specifically you, Klukai?
充電できなかったし、高出力モードあと3回も使えないんじゃない？
使えるよ。
え、本当に？
一度の戦闘を1分以内に抑えればね。それもうバッテリーが枯渇してるじゃん。
Klukai connects to the regional comms channel.
次の作戦は計画してるの？相手の敵意は明白よ。今も近くでこちらを捜索してるでしょうね。もし囲まれでもしたら。うわ、
Silly Dimitri.
このおじさんすごい。こっちはヘトヘトなのにまだ怒る体力があるなんて。
Which of us is actually a doll? Look at Dimitri with his energy, his boundless energy.
あんたが救いようのないポンコツなだけよ。
A you problem.
ミスティ、あんたはここで警戒してなさい。あいつの様子を見てくるわ。
The peak gotcha game. Klukai heads over to the building in which Dimitri is taking cover and finds him checking and rechecking a slip of paper with an unknown sequence of numbers against a map.
何してるの？あんたね。
静かにしてろ。総長は手がかりを見つけてる最中だ。
いつからああなの？
この集落の看板を見つけてからずっとさ。ここじゃない。
Dimitri, maybe you want to ask her for help? Dimitri seems to be measuring some kind of distance on the map, using his own rugged fingers. However, he eventually gives up and puts the paper away in annoyance. Like, come on, two heads are better than one.
これが平面ベクトルなら原点がわからないと始まらないわよ。
うるせえ、んなことは分かってる。
あんたが次の命令を出してれば声をかけずに済んだわ。物資にも限りがある。こんな風にあてもなく逃げてたらいずれ敵に追いつかれて全滅する。
少しは頭が回るじゃねえか。
Just then, a young soldier of the survey corps enters through the door.
総長、総員配置につきました。ご指示を。
待機だ。
防備を配置したの？
当たり前だ。数字ゲームにほうけてる。
Playing Sudoku.
ぼさっとしてねえで。お前らも協力しろ。指示が欲しかったんだろう。これを見ろ。
Dimitri beckons at Klukai and gestures for her to take a closer look at the map.
南東にある高台が見えるか。機械兵器の7割をあそこに配置。
More than 70%?
同時に
Dang.
兵も5人向かわせている。陽動を仕掛けるぞ。
陽動？
そうだ。敵は鋭い。3時間もすればここは見つかっちまう。一番近い集落まで6時間はかかる。隠れて行動できる距離じゃない。一気に距離を離せないなら
Exactly.
手の大半を叩くしかない。
Ask for help. Instead, I'm ordering you to help me. It's not like I need the help or anything.
ここで追っ手を弱らせるつもりね。
そうだ。
You just happen to be there.
俺たちは無勢な上に装備も貧弱だ。反撃するとしても待ち伏せやゲリラ戦を仕掛けてくると考えてるはずだ。それを利用する。次の集落に向かうのにこの道は避けて通れない。
Yeah, there's plenty of time. I just gotta finish before work at 10 a.m.
ここが絶好の
Worst case, I'll wake up at maybe 7 or 8 a.m.
俺たちが次の集落へ移動
Finish
するとす
it.
れば敵
Then
は
head out.
あの高台に目をつけるだろう。
そんなところに人を配置したら
Just gotta get some
敵の思う
caffeine in the morning.
まだわからねえか、このガラクタが。こっちの機械兵器は大半が中破してる。正面からじゃ勝ち目はねえ。今や無駄に資源を消耗するだけのお荷物だ。だったらここで価値を発揮させた方が賢明だろうが。この作戦の要はお前ら404だ。敵が高台からの銃撃に気を取られてる隙に西側から背後を攻めれば追っ手を一気に壊滅できる。
言っておくけど、そのルートからだと高台にいる味方に配慮はできないわよ。
あの5人は俺が最も信頼する戦友だ。お前なんかよりよっぽ
His
ど
most
使える。
trusted comrade.
お前らの行動開始とともに陽動部隊が機械兵器の自動迎撃モードを起動する。その後高台の裏から降りて本体と合流する寸法だ。
理想ではね。成功率は4割もないわ。本体と合流する前に包囲される可能性の方が高い。それに敵兵力の概算は前回の戦いに基づいたものよ。もし前回の 130% 以上、つまり敵の数が20人と25機多かった場合、
Let's just hope it does not drop below 25% then.
25% を下回る。
軍人を何だと思ってやがる。成功が保証できなきゃ動けない腰抜けか。あらゆるチャンスを掴んで勝利を現実のものにする。それだけだ。こんな状況で勝算があるだけマシなんだよ。わかったか。
覚悟ができてるならそれでいいわ。本体はどうするの？
What about the main force?
戦力を保全する。
目的地は？
候補は2つ。1つは最寄りの集落だ。住民がいるか物資を補給できるかはわからない。もう1つは同じ方向にある基地局だ。見つけ出して直せれば
Okay, restoring external communications would be great.
基 基地局までの距離は？
集落と同じだな。徒歩で6時間だ。
6 hours on foot. Ugh.
どうしたの？
軍用車だと？こっから先は徒歩
No driving, only walking.
どういうこと？
あ
お前らの車両を除けば調査隊に残されたのは大型が1台と小型の軍用トラックだけだ。この作戦を成功させるには1体を敵が現れる可能性が最も高い北東において注意を引きつける必要がある。その周りに騒がしい小型偵察機を数台配置しておく。大した戦闘力はねえが音だけはでかいからな。敵を引きつけるにも味方に注意を促すにももってこいだ。ま、そうなると車と偵察機の回収は無理だろうがな。
もう1台はどうするの？
陽動部隊の脱出用だ。あれで本体に追いつかせる。
賢明な判断だとは思えないわね。本体と合流するのが困難なことはあんたも承知のはずよ。なぜ資源を無駄にするの？
It makes it easier to send the message if they do communicate, though.
困難と知りながら前へ進むのが英雄。
Only if. Otherwise, it's throwing insults or just refusing to say stuff.
あいつらは陽動部隊だ。特攻部隊じゃない。
AK, I don't have to tell you that information.
作戦の成功が最優先よ。
Dimitri takes a deep breath.
俺が指揮を取る。お前らは黙って指示に従え。いいな。機械ごときに世話を焼かれてたまるか。
And then it goes back to arguing. Kukai decides not to argue with the stubborn Dimitri.
作戦内容は把握した。各自行動を始めるわ。それじゃ。
30分後、集落の南西で
Like, as long as they communicate well. Otherwise, gosh darn it. Kukai fills in the other 404 members on the operation plan. After confirming the basic terrain around the settlement, they join the survey corps in hiding within an abandoned building in the southwestern part of the settlement.
この時間、普段ならもう寝てるはずなのに。ディミトリーが言うようにうまくいくのかな。
どうだろう。敵戦力が変わらないことが前提になってるけど。
They at least
そうじゃなかったら
talks about the overall plan.
ああ、なるほど。お姉ちゃん、あいつら大丈夫かな。
人間たちに期待するより私たちで何ができるかを考えた方が賢明よ。それにここで敵との距離を引き離すことは大事よ。
わかった。美容家頑張る。
アンドリス、作戦中は車から離れないで。物資の安全が最優先よ。撤退が早まったら連絡するから。はい、来るかい隊長。
The four dolls lapse into silence as they remain at their station. Soon after that, an ear-splitting alarm goes off in the northeast, followed by a vicious burst of gunfire. At the same time, the vehicle deployed beforehand explodes, and Dimitri's voice can be heard through the regional comms channel.
敵が射程並みに入りたい。高台の陽動部隊が攻撃を仕掛ける。タイミングを見計らって設置した爆薬を受けますよ。404は敵の背後に回り込め。本体は俺の指示で動け。
了解。
With the first gunshot fired from up the hill, the battle has officially begun.
敵がちゃんと陽動に引っかかったよ。兵士はおよそ15名。機械兵器は重装ユニット2機に空気ユニットが5機。非常ユニットの数は分からないけど10機はあると思う。
美容家、ミスティ。敵が南東に50メートル前進したら仕掛けるわよ。敵を後ろから包囲したら美容家は空中ユニットを優先的に処理。相手の偵察範囲を縮めて。ミスティは私と重装および地上ユニットを。南西にいる本体に気づかれないよう注意しなさい。
了解。
Okay, sounds like a solid plan so far.
ここで待機。もし敵が来たら付近に設置した爆薬とスモークを起爆して本体の場所がバレないよう引きつけるのよ。
了解。来るかい大丈夫。
Even though the enemy force is thrown into disarray at first, they soon regain their footing and launch an attack on the hills using cover and their anti-air units. Kuka keeps gauging the distance between them and the enemy force. Finally, she gives the order.
404行動開始。
As the dolls enter the fray, the enemy's attack becomes noticeably hamstrung. Meanwhile, Dimitri starts directing the main force in retreating toward the target settlement.
お姉ちゃん、空中ユニットは全部撃破したよ。
上出来ね。
よっか。だったらこっち手伝ってよ。ここまでかぶっちゃめっちゃくちゃなんだけど。
ビオカ、ミスティのサポート。重装ユニットを近づけさせないで。他は私がやるわ。
わかった。お姉ちゃんも気をつけてね。
Timing her move carefully, Klukai detonates another set of explosives, successfully impeding the enemy's attempt to regroup.
本体、こちらハイド404。追撃部隊の制圧態勢に入ったわ。
よし、わかった。今そっちはあと何人残ってる？
残り3人だ。だが1人は重傷で動け。
敵がこっちに気づいた様子は？
まだだ。今はこっちを集中的に狙ってるが、404のおかげでなんとか持ちこたえてる。それどころか奴ら10分前に404
Okay, so far so good.
ドローンを優先的に撃墜した。地形に挑戦、火人の影響で奴らの使いは最悪のはずだ。本体の存在には気づいてないだろう。さすがだな、リミー。こんな作戦を思いつくとは。
おめ言葉は後でじっくり聞くさ。任務終了だ。中台の裏を回ってそこから撤退しろ。
了解。
404はあと15分持ちこたえろ。イバンたちが撤退した後、全機械兵器を爆破して
I wonder what will happen to the backup.
その後はできるだけ敵を撃破しながら撤退しろ。本体と合流できるよう急げ。通信を怠るな。
了解。やっと終わる。すごい。こんなにうまくいくなんて。
Everyone in the regional comms channel breathes a sigh of relief and starts to relax a little. Still staying close to the jeep, Ender suddenly looks to the side in alarm.
みんな、西から熱源反応。敵の増援かもしれない。敵が救援信号を受け取ったんだ。こちらへと高速接近中。本体と接触する可能性大。
なんだと？
近くに遮蔽物はない。その場で隠れて。
間に合われ。
The wave of dust kicked up by the enemy reinforcements march is already within Dimitri's view.
熱源反応から空中ユニット10機、重装ユニット5機と推測。兵士の数は不明。
Well, even though everyone is prepared for the worst, the moment enemy reinforcements actually show up, their despair is still palpable through the comm channel.
それ。すべての照明装備を落とし、その場につけろ。指示するまでは絶対に動く。音も
Oh,
立てるな。
time to hide.
来たぞ。敵は目視距離まで接近。規模は404が予想した倍以上だ。
I thought we'd be going Boojum hunting, but not being hunted by others instead. The comm channel lapses into silence. As the seconds tick by, the enemy's anti-air units are fast approaching the survey corps and will soon spot the barely hidden soldiers. No tricks or tactics will save them from the enemy's superior firepower. All the soldiers press themselves to the ground with bated breath, doing everything they can to reduce their vital signs.
そのルートだとリミーのいる本体と接触するんだな。これかしているやつがないな。
Hearing Ivan's voice through the communicator, Dimitri is compelled to respond even though he just gave the order to forbid anyone from making a sound.
勝手に動くな。何するつもりだ。
助けを呼ぶ。俺たちまだ終わりじゃなかった。
Uh-oh.
何ふざけてやがる。援軍なんざどこでもたついてるかもしれん。
Dimitri stops abruptly mid-sentence when he realizes what his comrade is getting at.
敵がなぜ我々に固執するかは分からんが、俺たちが援軍を呼ぼうとすれば何が何でも阻止しに来るだろう。
余計なことは考えるな。お前たちの任務は本体と合流することだ。
リミ、落ち着いて聞くんだ。俺たちは援軍との連絡に成功し合流するようにかける。リミ、お前はその隙にみんなも連れて逃げろ。だがラックは持たない。奴らがフェイクに気づけばすぐに折り返すだろう。
俺の命令が聞けねえってのか。
Dang, bro's gonna sacrifice himself.
領土を仕掛け、本体の撤退を援護することだ。
言葉遊びはいい。今すぐ撤退してろ。聞こえたか。
Ivan says nothing in response to Dimitri's fury. The winds and gunfire in the yellow zone resound in the comm channel.
ことが済んだら俺たちをモスクワに連れ戻してくれ。全ての夢が始まった場所だ。俺は死んでもそこに帰る。
Amid the silence, Ivan's voice sounds ghostly, almost unreal.
今やめろ。やめるんだ。
Ivan makes no answer. The mechanical units on the hill to the southeast of the settlement suddenly stop firing and start following a jeep that is speeding in the completely opposite direction. A signal flare with a bright trailing tail soars into the night sky with no second thoughts. The amber flare flashes several times in the sky at a certain frequency, then falls into the vast desert. This sudden deployment has drawn the attention of both the enemy force fighting within the settlement and the reinforcements currently en route to the settlement. The survey corps exposing their own route is making them doubt the authenticity of their intelligence.
隊長、この信号は援軍と合流する気か。しかし情報では援軍の到着までまだ時間があったはず。
上からの情報はいつもこうだ。派手に動いたからな。ロレンが気づいて援軍を複数派遣した可能性もある。
ではどうすれば。撤退しますか。上には気づかれるなと言われてますし。
バカ。増援が来た時点でこっちの存在はバレてる。目標も回収できていない。撤退して増援の到着を
Yeah, looks like the bluff worked at least.
え？集落で待機しているご飯を呼べ。速やかに人形どもを撃破
At
し、
the very
援軍
least.
との合流を阻止しろ。7班を援護しろ。方向転換だ。全力で追え。
Having received their instructions, the anti-air units pivot swiftly, ignoring the group of soldiers lying on their stomachs under the cover of the night just a short distance away. They instead head in Ivan's direction to give pursuit. A familiar military song accompanied by the sound of artillery fire can be heard through the Survey Corps' regional comm channel. It is a chorus of only 3 voices, but it resounds more sonorously than ever. Dimitri clenches his fists. His voice grows hoarse and hollow.
了解。
Kukai briefly assesses the number of remaining armed units within the settlement and their distance from the main force.
アンドリス、ミシティ、ビオカ。軽装備とアンドリスの外付け装備だけ持って撤退しなさい。
まさか来るかい。あの人数と一人で戦う気なの。無茶だよ。重装ユニットも1機残ってるんだよ。少なくとも2人がかりじゃないと。私が残ってお姉ちゃんをサポートする。ミシティとアンドリスは先に行って。
命令を聞きなさい。 同じことを何度も言わせないで。敵はすぐ近くにいる。こんな時に車で動けば確実に見つかるし、本体の居場所までバレてしまう。徒歩で撤退するしかない。アンドリスの外付け装備は重いから2人で運んで1人が護衛するの。そのせいで移動速度が落ちる。今すぐ出発しなさい。
外付け装備を置いていったら、そうすれば一緒に逃げられる。
任務はまだ終わってない。あんたの外付け装備必須よ。出発しなさい、今すぐ。
Seeing that Kluka has already made up her mind, the other three dolls know better than to argue. They nod at each other and begin their withdrawal.
エリート人形の実力をとくと見せてあげるわ。
Having detected Hide 404's hideout, the enemy units start gathering towards the area. After confirming that her three teammates have successfully departed, Klukai double-checks her physical condition and gear, then calmly steps into the night filled with smoke and flames. I will make it back. I will not fall. Klukai pulls her thoughts away from the figure that has surfaced in her neural cloud for now, and pulls the trigger resolutely. The battle begins anew. Well, on Dimitri's end, the enemy's reinforcements have gone off after Ivan. At Dimitri's command, the soldiers cautiously scan the surrounding area.
このエリアに敵はいませんね。総長、イヴァンの方に捜索隊を送る必要は。
Dimitri knows full well that what the soldier is hinting at. He gazes silently at the horizon, where the sky is aglow with the flames of battle. Little by little, the flying sparks devour the wrath and despair in his eyes. There's no more singing through the comms channel. It got cut off abruptly, along with the sound of artillery and the howling winds. Dimitri closes his eyes. His gaunt features betray the vicissitudes of life.
もし通信が届かないだけだったら。
二度も言わせるな。ソイン、音を立てずに支度しろ。ここを出る。
でも命令を聞け。
The young soldier still wants to say something, but Larian smacks him upside the head.
総長はここにいる誰よりもイヴァンを助けたいんだ。一人だったら真っ先に飛び出してるだろうさ。だが俺たちの命を預かってる以上、イヴァンたちの犠牲を無駄にするわけにはいかない。
すいません、伍長。俺何も知らないで。
Dimitri waves it off. Then he opens up a map and checks it against the paper slip again. A brief moment later, he slaps himself hard on the face.
そうか。そういう。
Ooh, what did he find out?
なぜもっと早く気づかない。
He picks up his communicator and tunes into the regional comms channel.
ソイン、目的地を北西 1.5 キロのヤホドナ山に変更。直ちに出発するぞ。404、状況報告しろ。
こちら3名の素体損傷率は約 25%。現在装備を携行しながら本体方面へ移動中。ご了承で、あと20分くらい。ただ、フルカイお姉ちゃんがたった一人で集落の敵の足止めを。
どいつもこいつも英雄気取りか。クソが。
Dimitri understands the reason behind 404's course of action, but he still can't help but let out a curse. Just as Bielka is about to talk back, Klukai's impassive voice speaks to the comms channel.
勝手に殺さないでくれる？お姉ちゃん！集落内に残存した敵は全て撃破したわ。弾薬の消耗率は予想以上。素体の一部が消耗。更新速度は 78% まで低下。大丈夫？よかった。ディミトリーのおじさんが
Klukai can definitely solo them. She's powerful.
運が良かったな。 前の損耗なんぞ知ったこっちゃねえ。さっさとついてこい。
That hoops.
目的地は
Dimitri's like, it's not like I was worried about you or anything, Klukai. At long last, under Dimitri's leadership, the surviving soldiers of the Survey Corps and the dolls of Hyde 404 file into a cave under the cover of the night. With no further directives from their commander, the soldiers who just had a close brush with death all slumped to the ground with their backs against the rocky walls. The fierce battle they have just experienced is still fresh in their minds. Nobody turns on any light source and nobody says a word. The dolls of Hyde 404 are also sitting quietly in the cave, keeping some distance from the Survey Corps. They each inspect their own physical condition.
隊長、私たちの平均素体損傷率 35% になってる。さっきの戦いで車両と中の修理用部品は全て紛失。たかが 35% でしょ。大したことないわ。アンドリスが言ったのは平均値。お姉ちゃんの損傷率が一番高いんだよ。私は平気よ。
本当に左目とか結構ヤバそうだけど。
銃弾がかすっただけ。
Ah, just a shrapnel cut.
でも
Just a flesh wound. Just a scratch. Klukai shakes her head softly at Enderus, telling her to drop the subject. But she receives no visual feedback of Enderus' concerned expression through her left visual module. Her left eye is utterly ruined.
アンドリス、現在地の詳しい情報はつかめる？うん、なんとか。静的マップとさっきの集落の位置情報を照らし合わせた結果だけど、今ヤホドナ山の岩塩湖にいるみたいね。この岩塩湖
Either dangling or just completely cracked.
結構立つよ。中は無人になってる。なるほど。イオカ、ミスティ、あんたたちは体力の温存を優先。低電力モードで待機。
Which is more disturbing than Douche of Naya with her arm falling off.
レーダーもドローンも使えない。今はあんたが私たちの目になるの。任せて、クルカイ隊長。了解、お姉ちゃん。
Despite her injuries and exhaustion, Mikti does not zonk out immediately like she usually would. Instead, she hugs her weapon close and gazes uneasily at the pitch-dark sky outside the cave. After giving the 404 members their orders, Klukai stands up and walks over to Dimitri quietly. He is sitting in a corner deeper into the cave, having a whispered conversation with Larion.
ディニー、ざっくりだけど点検し終えた。物資は残り 20%、 仲間も半分以下まで減ってる。イヴァンとレブはもう俺のせいだ。いや、あんな状況から生き延びたんだ。大したもんだよ。それはそうとディミ、あのメモの解読はできたのか？いきなりこんなところに連れてきてどういうつもりだ？
Dimitri leans back tiredly against the cave wall, clutching his gun tightly in his hand.
ニコライを覚えてるか？
Larion racks his brain for a moment.
ニコライってあの軍人家庭出身のボンボンか？よくは知らないな。タイも違うし。お前と仲が良かったのは覚えてるよ。まあな。上が公表した MIA リストにあいつの名前があった。奴はあの部隊を指揮して
The leader of the MIA soldiers.
いろんなドッグタグ
Ah.
あいつのもんだ。結局はローレンの犬か。見ろ、何の意味もないだろ。どうせ長生きしない。ろくな死に方すらできない。
Larion mutters some expletives through gritted teeth. Whether out of contempt for Nikolai or the general malcontent, Dimitri cannot tell.
そんなことはどうでもいい。重要なのは、あいつとイヴァンのおかげでメモの謎が解けたってことだ。
With that, Dimitri pulls the pieces of paper that were found on the deceased out of his pocket. He smooths out the creases, then turns on his small flashlight and angles himself further away from the cave entrance and blocks the light with his own body.
こいつは実際の地図データを元に変換された座標系だ。ここ、ここ、 それとこの数字は全部実際の座標を示してる。
それにしちゃ変だ。数字がでかすぎる。このエリアの場所とは思えない。
ああ、二次変換してるからな。その二次変換の方法がどうしてもわからなかった。ここを見てみろ。オリジン。初めは原点を探せという意味だと思ってた。だが違った。
Dimitri pulls up the map on his communicator.
新ソ連の国土面積とモスクワの座標を覚えてるか？メモの数字からその2つの値を引いてみろ。
Larian does some mental calculations and references the longitude and latitude on the map.
合ってる。やるなディビー。頭の回るやつだ。
昔ニコライと戦場で似たようなのを見てるからな。あいつは軍の暗号が気に入らないのか、毎回自分で作りたがるんだ。例えば
They've even used what? What, Dimitri? Finish your sentence, Dimitri!
どうだっていいことだ。
Dimitri looks a little forlorn.
しかしどうやってこれに気づいたんだ？
オリジンは原点じゃねえ。新ソ連、つまり俺たちの原点、モスクワのことだ。イヴァンのおかげで思い出した。新ソ連の大地がある限り僕は引き下がらない。ニコライの言葉だ。それでこの2つの値が二次変換の鍵になったわけだ。他の人間には確かに意味不明だろう。未だにこの数字を使ってたとはな。ニコライは新ソ連を忘れも裏切りもしてなかった。
ああ、いや、そういう意味で言ったんじゃ。
During his old comrade, any further awkwardness, Dimitri swipes across the map and points at the location.
前回の作戦の位置と照らし合わせてマークした場所の一つがこの辺だと分かった。場所をマークした理由は分からねえ。だがあいつの部下は死ぬまで手放さなかった。無意味なはずがない。あいつが伝えたかったことを俺たちの目で確かめて世界に広めてやるんだ。
さっき周囲を見てみたけど特に変わった点はなかったぞ。
この洞窟は広い。何かあるとしたら奥だろう。お前は兵たちと入り口に残って身を隠しつつ外を警戒してろ。俺は護衛2人と404を連れて奥を見てくる。
了解。
Only 2 men. After hesitating for a moment, Larian opens his supply pack, counts his remaining ammunition, and hands over more than half of it to Dimitri.
気をつけろよディミ。一緒に来た仲間はもう残り少ない。
Dimitri does not accept the ammunition. He gives Larian a pat on the shoulder and helps him turn out his collar, which is rumpled under the strap of his weapon.
心配すんな。俺がそう簡単にくたばる玉かよ。それと総長だ。何度も言わせるな。新兵どもに悪影響を与えたらどうする？
Larian chuckles.
は、総長。
There's hope.
そうだ。お前に任務をやろう。
There's supposed to be reinforcements from Dimitri's side, plus
俺の代わりに慰めてこい。
Kukai was told that there's gonna be someone joining up to help out too that she'd be happy about, so... After sending his subordinate away, Dimitri drops all pretense of blitheness and turns suddenly towards Kukai, who has been standing not far away.
ガラクタ人形ってのは盗み聞きが趣味なのか？
話が終わるのを待ってただけよ。たとえ機密情報だったとしても場所を選ばないあんたが悪い。
もういい。さっきの貢献に免じて不問にしてやる。お前ら暗視機能は生きてるか？
軽い損傷はあるけどまだなんとか。
なら用意しとけ。5分後に出発する。 この奥に隠された秘密が何なのか確かめに行くぞ。
了解。
Ooh, cave exploration sounds so fun. So incredibly fun. What's the worst that we'll find in here? Totally nothing bad, nothing spooky, scary. Annular eclipse. The halo that is not completely obscured allows everything to be observed. The Elmo cruises along in the night. Ooh, the Elmo, yes! It is traveling at the same speed, but the vibrations we are experiencing as the vehicle is in motion are putting me on edge. While we're en route to offer Hyde 404 reinforcement, Lena gets in touch once again, but this time she brings bad news. She has lost contact with Kluka and the others. Losing contact in the contamination zones is a common but nonetheless distressing phenomenon. Bounty hunters whom I have met briefly, convoys of underground brokers with whom I occasionally do business, adventurers who happen to have hitched a ride on the Elmo. I have crossed paths with so many people in the wind and the sand, only to never hear from them ever again. But I never thought the same would happen with them this time. Fortunately, with Lena's help, Dear and I managed to make contact, and we agreed on a meeting place. Right now, the Elmo is heading towards the location at full speed. However, the signal reception seems to be deteriorating, and my instinct tells me that this isn't a coincidence. Hey, the Elmo to the rescue! I can't help but regret the sincerity I wanted to demonstrate. The prospect of having Hyde 404 join my ranks had been such a relief to me that I forgot the rules within the contamination zones. If I had contacted them sooner, we wouldn't be in this predicament now. I can only pray that my naive desire to give them a surprise has not put them in terrible danger. The Elmo's already traveling at full velocity. I just hope we won't be too late. No, I have faith in her and Hyde 404. This time, I'll be the one who comes to you, Klukai. Surprise! Anders and Klukai are exploring the salt mine cave with the survey corps, while Mikti and Bielka are investigating another tunnel.
隊長、ミシティとビオカを別の行動に行かせてよかったの？この内部の構造図、もう古くて
I'm just debating how early I want to wake up tomorrow at this point.
ここ、思った以上に広いし、地形もかなり入り組んでる。普段はああでも404のメンバーには変わりないわ。陽動作戦で敵が用心深くなってるとはいえ。
I wonder how Damishi would react. Oh my goodness, someone's come to finally help us. And then it's the commander with all of their dolls. And Mei-Ling. Once they turn the corner, the path widens up. Out of thoughtful consideration for Klukai's damaged eye, Enderis positions herself on her left side. She brushes her fingertips lightly on the small white crystalline substance on the surface of the wall. Fascinating. Okay. Sierra is currently aboard the Elmo with the commander. Dimitri humps at Klukai's remark from the forefront of the expedition group.
お前に何がわかる？人間はな、任務と金しか頭にないガラクタとは違うんだよ。それに人間のひらめきがなけりゃ、お前ら人形どもが作られることもなかった。
Noticing Klukai's irritation, Anders tactfully changes the subject.
私もっと早く製造されてたらな。コーラプス放射線のない世界見てみたかった。地下200メートルでの生活なんて息苦しいとしか思えないのに、ここではそれが特色なんだね。過去の調査報告によると、この療養施設が長らく観光業の主役だったんだって。洞窟内には天然ガ
A
ス
hub
の
for
パイプ
tourism?
が大量に敷かれてるらしいよ。ガスのおかげで年中暖かくて、観光客が後を絶たなかったんだとか。
Interesting. While it was in its prime, I wonder what it looked like.
街や畑、植物や広い道路、行き来する車も映ってた。とても人気のある観光地だったんだね。
アンドリス、無駄な資料読んでないで任務に集中しなさい。
はーい。でも世界にこんなに賑やかな場所があっただなんて。ディミトリーさんは新ソ連人の方でしたよね。この辺りにはお詳しいんですか？
いや、
え？
その時代に俺は生まれてねえ。学校でもそんな無意味な知識は教え
It
ない。
kind of reminds me of the movie WALL-E,
そうだった
where
ん
Wally's
です
just
ね。
watching old movies.
私は無意味だとは思いませんけれど。
Winston Anders is just looking at old photos.
昔がどうだったかは知らねえが、
Dimitri gives the thick pipe mounted on the wall a smack.
今や町も療養施設の消え失せ。残るはボロいパイプとゴミの山だけだ。無駄話は終わりだ。始めるぞ。マークによればこの辺りのはずだ。
Seeing that Dimitri has no desire to continue the discussion, Anders keeps quiet. The party walks deeper into the cave in silence, with only their footsteps echoing through the space.
あら？ここの放射線量。ディミトリーさん、それと部下の方々も防護服の機密性をご確認なさった方がよろしいかと。
どうした？
エリア内の放射線量が急上昇しています。坑道内は空気が流動しないので、数値に変動があってもおかしくありませんが、さすがにこれは異常です。
何かの影響を受けてるってこと？
多分。
ディミトリー、私たちの探してるものと何か関係があるのかも。
ああ、原因を探るぞ。ここは一本道だ。答えは目の前だ。お前たち二人はここで待機。通信範囲から出そうなら奥へ来るよう伝える。
Dimitri glances at the number shown on the detector screen and pats the two soldiers on the shoulder.
気をつけろよ。
The party proceeds further into the cave. Fortunately, this tunnel does not lead very deep, and they see the end in less than 10 minutes.
これはコーラプスクリスタル。
Dimitri peers at a cluster of green crystals in the corner about a dozen meters away.
いくらレッドエリアに近いからって、なんだこのデカさは。
本当にイエローエリアで自然発生するコーラプスクリスタルの体積は
I need them lots of funds. Let's grab them all.
を超えないはずです。でもこの結晶、少なくとも
Like, Anders is trying to make small talk. So, I feel like Dimitri can't be too angry at her. Anders checks the radiation levels and wind speed again.
ここにかなりの間存在していたようです。
Or at least she was in the cave.
これが原因でしょう。空気の流動が少ないためにコーラプス粒子が拡散せず、異常な線量差につながったんですね。
アンドリス、もう少し近づいてみましょう。
Lukai shoots a glance at Dimitri, who also wants to inspect the crystal from up close.
その古い防護服じゃこれ以上近づかない方が身のためよ。
ならお前がしっかり調べとけ。
言われなくても。
Luca and Andres walk on. Meanwhile, Andres' voice comes through the level 2 connection.
ディミトリーさんも私たちのこと信頼するようになったね。
他に選択肢がないからよ。アンドリス、クリスタルをくまなく検査して。結晶光子は安定してるからそう簡単に爆発しないと思うけど、用心するに越したことはないわ。
はーい。
After handing out Andres' task, Klukai redirects her attention to the comm channel.
ミシティ、リオカ、何か発見は？
まだ何も。もっと奥に進んでみる。この行動すっごく深いね。あいた、ミスティ、ちゃんと歩いてよね。暗視機能が不安定なんだよ。我慢して。こんな広い場所でぶつかるなんてどう考えても変でしょ。どんなに広い道でも交通事故は起こる。夜道で連続稼働してる。
Comparing that to a traffic accident.
その辺にしなさい。捜索を続けて、異常があればすぐに報告を。
Klukai has had enough of their bickering and temporarily disconnects from the comm channel. She converses with Andres through their level 2 connection instead.
アンドリス、何か分かった？
結晶内部の放射能濃度から見て、このクリスタル存在して半年くらいになるね。
半年？半年でここまで大きくなるの？ありえないわ。
私もそう思って結晶の成長面を調べたんだ。隊長、これを見て。
Looking at where Andres is pointing, Klukai taps the side of the crystal lightly, and a very thin crack appears between the crystal and the layer of rock in the cave.
まさか自然発生したものじゃないの？
おそらくは自然発生したクリスタルはもっと付着力が強いはず。特に岩に形成されたものならクリスタルの形も岩の形に影響される。でもこれは
自然発生というよりかは
Planted.
生まれたと言った方が正しいわね。
そう。暗くて分かりづらいかな。このクリスタルの周囲、岩だけじゃなくて少量のコンクリートがついてるの。荒削りだけど補強の役割をしてる。
Andres frowns.
隊長、もしかしてパラデウスの。
こんな場所でわけのわからないことをしでかすなんてパラデウスくらいのものよ。
集落で見つかった石と同じで何かのシンボルなのかな。
ならこうまでして隠す理由は？ここのスペースも儀式が向いてないわよ。とりあえず記録しましょう。通信が回復したらリバに送ってちょうだい。
分かった。
おい、何ぼーっと突っ立ってる。あっちの人形どもと連絡するだけであとはだんまりか。ええ。
ディミトリーさんに教えようか。
パラデウスのことは黙ってて。
After severing the level 2 comms connection, Klukai walks several steps back to Dimitri and directly states the conclusion they have arrived at.
結晶は人為的に埋め込まれたものね。
人為的？
ええ。失踪した体がここを示したならメモの他の場所にあるのもおそらくこれでしょうね。
クソが、こんなもん埋めやがって正気か。
Yeah, clearly they're
正
crazy.
気かどうかはわからないけど、少なくとも異常放射線量の原因は判明したわね。エリット感染者の奇妙な症状もこれと無関係ではないはずよ。
隊長、ディミトリーさん、クリスタルのデータと映像の記録完了しました。それとまた新しい
Yeah, clearly the collapsed crystals can turn into something beautiful because power of gacha. That is the most beautiful thing. Okay, not legit though. Ooh. Well, there were that one. when they infiltrated that one meeting with the flowers that bloomed after gathering enough radiation. Like, that's a nice thing, technically. That's a pretty thing. Otherwise, not really. Forgetting all about the dangers of collapsed radiation, the impatient Dimitri ends up striding up to the crystal. Anders points at the rock strata that have been chipped off slightly at the base of the collapsed crystal. Beneath the gray rock, one can just about make out the white metal outer shell wrapped around the bottom of the crystal.
正確なサイズを測ろうと思って結晶を掘り起こしてみました。そうしたら下からとんでもないものが見つかったんです。何かの装置に見えるわね。クリスタルを固定するだけのものとは思えない。これも掘り出せる？
There's a couple different pieces of related terminology. Are you pretty sure collapsed crystals can be used as both energies? Source of both collapse and reverse collapse? Ooh! Okay, you know... energy, eh?
このサイズを持ち歩くのは危険すぎる。やめだ。今は映像と座標だけでいい。詳細は後から援軍と調べる。こいつはとんでもない発見だ。すぐに通信を復旧させて上に知らせねえと。
そうね。アンドリス、ミシティと美容家に連絡を。何も見つからなければ入り口に戻れと伝えて。
Right on cue, her communicator begins beeping, or starts beeping. The moment the line connects, a deafening howl can be heard through the channel. Well... Is it the Boojum I was thinking about? Yep, the big boy. Collapse is a process of breaking down objects to their atomic constituents. Reverse collapse is undoing that process, essentially creating an object using out of the elements. Dang, reverse collapse is fancy. Oh, you're pretty sure that reverse collapse can also be used to make multiple copies of the same object? As long as you have enough starting material? Unlimited gotcha works, I wish. Lukai terminates the call and looks at Dimitri. Yeah. Oh man, I had to do that other fight for the other map that way. Because Klukai killed the boss too quickly. Dimitri barks out a laugh and raises his communicator. If I end up having to do it for this map too. Ah, beautiful. After giving his orders, Dimitri checks how many rounds he has left in his weapon. Well. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Achieve victory, win within 8 turns, and lose no more than 1 unit. Yeah, it's easy enough. And we'll just have it as is. Terror Horn. Ta-da! The Boojum gurgles one last time and then gives up the ghost. Its ravaged body slams into the rocky wall and slowly slides to the ground. As the corpse shifts, its outer shell peels off and faintly glittering pieces of metal fall from it. They cling crisply as they hit the floor. Even more. Kukai gestures to Enderus, indicating that she should stop speaking. Dimitri walks forward and picks up each of the metal pieces. He says nothing. Instead, he pulls out his combat knife and plunges it into the Boojum's soft, exposed innards. With each sawing stroke, he opens a bigger and bigger hole in the Boojum's body, causing nauseating slime and collapsed crystals to ooze out. Ew.
これってあれドラゴンを倒した後に素材を剥ぎ取る勇者的なやつ。うわ、ダメ、気持ち悪い。お姉ちゃん、近くにいるから何かあったら呼んで。手を突っ込んでる。本当に何か剥ぎ取るつもり？ミシティ、じっとやめてよ。
お前ら、突っ立ってないで手伝え。
Dimitri breaks his silence to call his men over, then speaks quickly to them. They help him enlarge the hole in the Boojum side, and Dimitri half crawls into it, as one does. After feeling around for a bit, he emerges, covered in filth, and savagely wipes the ooze off his mask.
実家の土地区長よりひどい匂いだぜ。
何を探してるの？
Dimitri doesn't directly answer Klukai's question. Instead, he cleans off the items he had found inside the Boojum. It is a glass box roughly the size one would use to hold a ring, with small fragmented collapsed crystals inside on it. A ragged cloth is stuck to the box. The part outside of the box is unrecognizable. The only part of the fabric which retains its original color is the part near the seams.
ロレンの軍旗に見えるな。ドッグタグとこの箱を包んでたやつか。だいぶ腐食してるが。
ブージャムの体液が箱の中に滲んでる。中身が無事だといいけど。
Dimitri opens the box and takes out a small chip and a miniature military sound recorder. The inadequate seal on the container means that they're covered in collapsed crystals too. He pays it no heed and wipes the recorder down before pressing the play button on it. Crackle, 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 click.
こちらはロクサット主義合衆国連盟所属。
Oh!
第7環境調査
We get a last message from Nikolai.
1364小隊総指揮官
Collapsed wood is used for collapse and reverse collapse. Collapsed crystals are the result of matter being exposed to collapse radiation.
環境調査を行っている。
Crystals are radioactive, but once purified, can actually be used to make protective equipment resistant to collapse radiation. Ah! No wonder the crystals are so useful. The sound from the recorder is heavily garbled. A complex mix of emotions fills Dimitri's heart as he listens to the voice of his old friend in the recording.
時間が限られ、計画的な襲撃に遭い、通信設備と防護装備を破壊された。敵はマグニセキュリティという PMC と、それからネイト。
ネイトだと？まさかパラデウスの？ パラデウスはとっくに滅びたはずだぞ。
どうやら今も存在する上に新たな協力者を得たみたいね。この前の医療物資の護送はマグニセキュリティが武器を補充するためのカモフラージュだったってわけ。あの時すでにこちらを襲撃するつもりだったんだわ。
やろう。初めから狙ってやがったのか。
The recorder keeps playing. Nikolai doesn't sound like he's in good shape. His breathing is coming in rapid gasps.
マグニセキュリティの実態は見た目以上に複雑だ。パラデウスに協力してコーラップスクリスタルを各地に埋め込み、
Darn Mangi
実
security.
験を繰り返している。我々は死に物狂いで奴らのデータを奪い、チップに保存し、クリスタルの位置とマグニセキュリティの布陣を簡単に書き記し、まだ動ける兵士に託した。部隊の大半はエリットに感染。
Oh, they're infected too.
弾薬もほとんど残ってない。おそらく生還は絶望的だろう。
Dimitri's body tenses up from anger. He is silent, but anyone near him would be able to hear his teeth grinding.
隊長、ディミトリーさんの様子が。
静かに黙って聞いて。
The recording keeps playing, but the sound quality keeps getting worse. It seems Nikolai's body is reaching its limit too, because he's coughing nonstop.
浄化事業が危ない。これは警告だ。マグニセキュリティとネイトたちの最終的な目的は不明だが、このチップだけは何としてでも、そのためならたとえ丸腰になっても最後まで戦い続けてやる。
Even with his bare hands.
抗って抗って抗い続けることでしか我々の奪われたものを取り戻す術はない。前にコーラプスエピフィラムが咲いた時、その周りにいる炭素生物はかなりの確率でブージャムに変異するという報告を読んだ。本当ならいいのだが、バカバカしく聞こえるかもしれないが、これが最後の手段だ。
Oh no. Lots and lots of dot dot dots.
このチップを見つけたのが増援部隊なら、チップの情報を持ち帰って広めてほしい。いや、誰でもいい。我々を見つけたら殺してくれ。そして聞き届けてくれ。人間としての僕たちの最後の願いを。
For Nikolai, guys.
我々はロレン浄化事業所属環境調査隊の軍人だ。今までも、そしてこれからも我々は決して屈しない。
recording ends, for a while, the darkened mine is silent. The men from the survey corps are well beyond anger at this point. Their eyes are wide and bloodshot. The dolls from 404 look at the corpse of the Boojum they just killed and recall the words spoken by the deceased. Nobody can confirm the true origins of the Boojum. Perhaps it was just a monster that cruelly devoured the remains of the previous unit. But there is no doubt that, in life, it was the toughest thing in this region. A veritable walking fortress.
アンドリス、チップの中身を調べられる。
試してみるね。軍用のチップとはいえだいぶ傷んでるから中身が無事かはわからないけど。ディミトリー総長、チップを見せていただけますか？
Dimitri glances at Andres, then takes the chip out of the box and hands it over to her without a word.
一部は解析できたけど残りはプロに任せないとだね。中のデータは保護されてる。私じゃバックアップも転送も無理みたい。
解析できた部分だけ見せて。
了解。
Anders shares the portion of the data which she can decrypt with Klukai via the level 2 connection.
これはメールの記録。
Emails.
同じ穴の無地中、ヘドが出るわね。
何が分かった？
While the embers of rage are still smoldering in Dimitri's eyes, he seems to have calmed down.
マグニセキュリティとセシュト&ファルベン間のメール記録よ。
摂取なんだ？ベン？
今回あんたたちに医薬品を提供したメーカーよ。
Creating a Boojum by sacrificing multiple human bodies to it.
みたいだけど。
何が言いたいんだ？もったいぶるな。
ロレンは浄化授業推進のため、ここ数年。
Hello, I am winning.
調査隊を派遣してきた。
I will get through the event for sure.
得られたデータが
Before it ends.
合っているとは言い難い。
Plenty of time, I believe. Oh my goodness, the power of believing.
環境事故によるものとされてるのよね。
ああ、たまにバレアグや今回のマグニみてえな人為的なものもあるが、失踪者の 15% にも満たねえだろうよ。
問題はそこよ。自分の目で確かめなさい。
Klukai asks Andres to project the email logs. After quickly scanning through them, Dimitri's expression suddenly changes.
こいつら狂ってやがる。野郎、このクソったれが。
After seeing Dimitri cursing out loud, the other two survey corps troopers move in to take a look.
パラデウスとマグニがこのエリア以外でも活動してるのか？メールに書かれた場所聞いたことがあるぞ。俺の同期がそこに派遣されたんだ。連絡はそれっきり途絶えてる。
これはあくまで一部に過ぎないわ。チップをさらに解析すれば、奴らの
Like a little bit less
がワンサが出てくるでしょうね。
hate towards Dimitri.
コーラプスクリスタルの
They don't like how he treats the dolls, though.
このメール
Or at least Klukai.
パラデウスはコーラプス放射線に関する人体実験を行っていて、
Because he's a little bit nicer to Andres, at the very, very, very least.
するための道具。そして実験に使われる人間の大半が洗脳されたユナイタスといったところかしら。
かなり大掛かりだね。ニコライさんのメモ通りならここみたいな場所が他にもいっぱいあるってこと？
だからそのための武装支援が必要だった。グリーンエリアで活動してたマグニセキュリティがイエローエリアに長期的に人員を割くようになれば疑いの目は避けられない。でも親会社の物資輸送代行や研究者の護送といった名目なら問題にはならない。
No one can be mean to Andres. She's too precious for this world.
考えにくい。ロレン内部に一定の
She's a
地位にあった
sweetheart.
内通者がいると考える方が自然ね。
この証拠を上に提出して対策を取らせねえと。こんなイカれて連中は生かしちゃおけねえ。 奴らの犠牲を無駄にさせてたまるか。
このチップには高度なセキュリティと自戒システムが内包されています。自戒の条件には内容の複製も含まれます。今はチップそのものの保全を優先した方が良さそうですね。
ああ、分かってる。とにかく入り口の連中と合流して出発準備に取り掛かるぞ。
Anders hands Dimitri the chip. Dimitri returns it to the glass case with the utmost respect. He looks at the Boojum's body one last time without saying anything, then leaves without looking back.
想定通りの勝利です。本当はもう少し完璧に終わらせられたはずな。
Rest in peace to them. Okay, this one might be the last of the night, depending how long it is. The catalyst. The dangers hidden in the shadow are due to erupt. 2 hours ago. Ah, back to Mangi security. Wonderful. Hi, Blue Sphere. Blue Sphere studies the screen before her coldly, then begins entering a series of commands.
起動するか否か、いくつ起動するか、いつ起動するかは私が判断いたします。
ダメだ、危険すぎる。このエリアのクリスタル量からして放射線量が1万を超える。1万だぞ。レッドエリアに匹敵する数値だ。
Dimitri went from an enemy to a frenemy.
確実に遂行しなくてはなりません。これは至上命令です。臨界点を迎えるまでに
Heck, maybe by the end of the event, he'll become best frenemies. Blue Sphere's response to the Mangi security officer is cold and aloof, as though this simple, savage, and insane plan is one that is reserved for when there's absolutely no other choice. However, that is not the case. She silently studies the file in her neural cloud. It was written a long time ago, even before the very first catalyzer was installed. Its title is the Pawahi Plan, named after the first picture humanity took of darkness. And now, this darkness from the depths of space is about to descend upon the world.
でしたら、プラン発動までに任務を遂行してください。
口では何とでも。
ご存知だとは思いますが、今回の指揮権は私にあります。命令に背くのであれば即刻排除します。あなた一人が消えたところで計画に支障はございません。前回はあなたの判断ミスで調査隊を殲滅する好機を逃したばかりか。ブージャムと何度も遭遇していながら目標の回収は失敗。
I like the way she's just pointing out all the stuff he did wrong. The Mangi security officer feels a twinge of pain in his head as he thinks about the 2+ weeks he and his men have spent chasing the Boojum. It was as though the thing was intelligent, intentionally avoiding his forces and circling around them, but then it also destroyed everything it saw like a mindless beast. The Boojum trolled them! After realizing how dangerous his position is, the Mangi security officer gives up on trying to defend himself.
ヤホダラさんの岩塩湖跡地に着く。追跡チームによれば負傷 傷したブージャムもそこにいる可能性が高い。あの行動を封鎖するだけで奴らを一網打尽にできる。
推定所要時間は
少なくとも3日だ。ヤホドナ岩塩湖は広い。クリスタルを埋め込んで以来内部の探索は行っていないから地形の把握に手間取るだろう。それに敵が内部のどこにいるかもわからない。全員を見つけ出すにはそれなりの時間がいる。
それでは遅すぎます。ロレンの援軍が到着すればこちらは撤退せざるを得ないでしょう。そうなればここを彼らが立ち入ることのできないデッドゾーンにしなくては。彼らによる影響をなくせば目標回収のための時間を稼ぐことが
Blue
でき
Sphere is the ultimate trick boss.
本当にあの手を使うのか。
それはまだ分かりません。もし彼らが一箇所に集まっていてその位置を特定できた場合はどうなりますか？
戦力差を考慮すれば半日だ。調査隊の戦力は残りわずか。ブージャムも重傷を負っている。見つかりさえすればすぐに終わるだろう。厄介なのはあの人形どもだ。奴らさえいなければ前の戦闘で調査隊を殲滅できたんだ。
4体の人形は私が
Do you think they forgot to code a personality for her?
あなた方は調査隊とブージャムに専念してください。
それはいいがどうするつもりだ。
考えがあります。私が到着するまでに岩塩湖周辺の地形を把握し全ての入り口に兵を配置してください。彼らがその場を離れようとした場合を除き私の命令があるまで動いてはなりません。
わかった。
ところで分散した調査隊員は見つかりましたか？
ほとんどはな。
ほとんど。一人残らず殲滅しろと申し上げたはずですが
Like, pretty much, that's not good enough. Blue Sphere isn't angry, but the coldness in her voice is more terrifying than mere anger.
いや、全員見つけたさ。まだ一組だけ残ってはいるが、すでに人をやった。
速やかに対処願います。
Blue Sphere hangs up, and then she picks up the call from Cocoon.
もう着いた？
およそ1時間30分後に到着する予定です。
ならよかった。ロレンの援軍があと1日で到着するそうだけど間に合うかしら？
問題ありません。今回ヤホドナ岩塩港の触媒装置を起動する必要がございます。他の装置を起動するか否かは作戦の結果次第です。
決定権はあなたにあるんだもの。どう使うかは任せるわ。でもね。
Cocoon pauses for a moment, and her voice grows cold.
剣闘士が負けたら賭けに興じるおじさま方は大層お怒りになるでしょうね。初めに伝えたわよね。証拠を確実に回収できなければ任務を達成
Sponsors, though.
言えないわ。彼らを駆除するだけじゃダメ。
承知しております。
そう。それじゃあなたの成功を祈ってるわ。
Ah, yes, I look forward to your triumphant return. Woohoo! Okay, one more. This will be the last one. Thermal conduction. To pass on the firelight through inevitable destruction. Wonderful! Dimitri and 404 return to the mine entrance, where he shares what he's found with the other men. After hearing what happened to the deceased and about Mangi's securities arrangement with Paradeus, just about everyone present is filled with anger.
こんなところでじっとしてられっか。ああ、俺たちはたった今
Extra motivation, rage. Time to become rage incarnate.
持ちと引き換えに手に入れたんだ。あいつらの声を外に届けなくちゃならねえ。あいつらをこの世界を踏みにじったクソ野郎どもに目に物を見せてやろうじゃねえか。
その通りです。目に物見せてやりましょう。そうだそうだ、総長、命令を。
これからどうする？これよりコードネームのろし作戦について説明する。今後は数チームに分かれて行動する。詳細は全員の端末に送っておいた。それぞれ定められたルートへ出発しろ。たった一人でもいい。誰かが生きてここを出て基地局にたどり着くさえすれば俺たちの勝ちだ。作戦成功が最優先だ。仲間が倒れても振り返るな。はっ。お前たちを部下に持ったことを俺は誇りに思う。いいか、最後の最後まで生きることを諦めるな。その命を、その信念を貫いてやれ。はっ。
The men are fired up by Dimitri's speech and eagerly begin gearing up. Meanwhile, Dimitri heads over to 404. For once, he doesn't look annoyed or disdainful. Instead, he hands the box containing the chip and the recorder to Klukai.
チップは404が持ってろ。生き残ってる中で一番優秀な奴らをお前らに同行させる。
私たちが？
ああ、調査隊はすでに限界だ。奇襲でも仕掛けない限りマグリと戦っても勝ち目はない。
He's like, 404, we believe in you.
ベストだと判断した。
Klukai hesitates for a moment, then accepts the box.
了解。
ここは放射線まみれだ。いつコーラプスストームやマグリのクソどもが襲ってきてもおかしくねえ。もしも、あくまでもしもだ。
Dimitri lowers his voice.
同行する人間が死んだりしんがりを務める状況になったとしても気にするな。チップを守り抜くことだけを考えろ。
ディミトリーさんは一緒に来ないんですか？
俺か、行くわけねえだろ。残った仲間たちと白星を挙げに行かねえとな。大将がいないんじゃ話になんねえだろ。
Well, good luck, Dimitri.
ですが、
勝利は万に一つもないのよ。
来るかい。そんな風に言わなくても。
Dimitri doesn't flare up like usual upon hearing Klukai's flat denial. Instead, he laughs.
だからガラクタどもにはわからねえっつってんだろ。人間が綺麗事だけ聞きたいバカだと思ったら大間違いだ。
何が言いたいの？
ここにいる誰もがそれこそ新兵ですら生還できる可能性がないに等しいのは分かって。
I mean, they spent enough time with Dimitri, guys.
援軍が今現れたとしても連絡がつかないんじゃどうしようもない。通信障害にマグニが一枚。
Who knows how long they've actually been stuck together?
臨時基地局を立てに行った連中も
From the first accidental time.
来ちゃいねえだろ。基地局を探すにせよ、この荒野を
The community service.
報告するにせよ、俺たちの任務はただ一つ。お前たち本命部隊への攻撃をそらすことだ。敵を一人でも多く潰せりゃめっけもんだ。お前らがチップを持ち帰ることができれば俺たちは勝つ。
でも人形と違って本当に死んじゃうんだよ。
死にたいやつなんざ一人もいねえさ。だが命を張らなきゃなんねえ時に縮こまるやつもいねえ。俺たちの死がクソどもの土産話になるのだけは許せねえだな。何グズグズしてる。機械は機械だ。人間を理解して何が楽しい。クソの役にも立たねえってのによ。命令通りチップを持ち帰ればそれでいい。俺たちがどうなろうとお前らには関係ねえぞ。
分かったわ。
After seeing Klukai put the box away, Dimitri nods in satisfaction and heads back to his men.
全員聞け。30分後に作戦開始だ。この作戦に失敗は許されない。分かったか。了解。
Beep, 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 beep. As the soldiers shout their assent, a deafening alarm fills the air. and every man's collapse radiation detector glows with an ominous red light.
放射線量が急上昇しています。
Wow, not even half an hour.
サイン防護服を確認しろ。
コーラプス粒子の流れから 90% 以上が坑道内から流出したものと推測。ディミトリー、今すぐ脱出して。
そうだな。総員に次ぐこれより呪し作戦を開始する。各隊はそれぞれのルートから出発しろ。エリア通信回線を維持。通信可能範囲を超え次第各隊長の指示に従え。はっ。404をはじめとする本命部隊は待機時間を10分まで短縮。404チップを絶対に守り抜け。
言われるまでもない。
However, just as everyone finishes their gear checks and prepares to leave, the shadows in the night pour in and surround them. Their twisted bodies and savage maws are made even more fearsome by this encirclement.
なんでこんなに生きむくろが？多分大量の放射線に引き寄せられたんだと思う。ディミトリー、後ろに下がって援護を願い。404戦闘準備。生きむくろを迎撃するわ。
Well, time to bonk him. Okay, yeah, I got this.
おじけついたの？
Yeah, it's fine. Let's go. Alrighty. Power of friendship. Okay, just a bit more. Ta-da! Thank you, Klukai. 404 and the Survey Corps put up a valiant resistance, but in the end they are forced to beat a fighting retreat into the depths of the mine. Thanks to 404 supporting fire, the Elids in the mine tunnels are temporarily cleared away, but they can still hear the howling of Elid hordes coming, some distance away. They take advantage of the brief respite to eat and reload. To rest and reload. I'm thinking of food for some reason. Brain not brainy. Brain's like, deliciousness. Silly brain. No food. If they become an ally to Elmo, I want to see just how confused and disturbed Dimitri is by the amount of dolls with the commander. Be like, oh no, there's more of them. So many dolls.
コーラプス粒子の拡散状況は？風の影響で元の速度を維持したまま拡散してる。おかしいよ。
Dimitri bunny girl outfit.
放射線量が下がらない。これって粒子の総量が増えてるんだわ。増えてる？何それ？コーラプス粒子って自分で増殖できるの？クルカイ隊長。
Ooh. Anders does not use her vocalizer modules for this. Instead, she requests communication with Klukai on level 2. She looks worriedly at the nearby soldiers from the Survey Corps. They've lost even more people during the fight just now. After realizing what Anders has in mind, Klukai switches to level 2 and comms as well. Uh-oh. Okay, 2 hours. 2-hour timer. After ending the transmission, Klukai heads over to the Survey Corps troopers. Most of them are hurt. Their blood and the mud from the journey have mixed and dulled to a dark brown which stains their ragged protective suits. Dimitri, who stands at their head, has just finished encouraging his men. He's sitting against a rock wall and the soldiers he spoke to earlier are gone.
生きてる奴は無事だ。死んじまった奴は心配いらねえ。
放射線量が増えてる。ここにはもういられないわ。
分かってる。だが少し兵を休ませたい。
He pauses and then his gaze settles on the radiation sensor Klukai is holding.
時間はどれくらい残ってる
？2時間。
よし、2時間だな。
Come on, Elmo and Commander, you know you want to show up already. Dimitri falls silent. He looks at his men sitting in a group, and he seems to be thinking about something. Perhaps he's running low on stamina, but his clenched fist is trembling slightly. However, he's doing his best to keep his face calm and steady. Suddenly, there's a violent shaking. Solid particles from the rock wall scatter like powdery snow. Dimitri stops talking and springs to his feet from where he's leaning against the tunnel wall. Not far away, Andres, who's been assigned to sentry duty, runs back while trying to keep her balance. Oh no!
使われていたガスパイプが一部破損してる。多分パイプに残っていたガスが息袋に破壊されたせいで爆発したんだと思う。
ガス爆発。この揺れ、明らかに一箇所。
Elmo being fashionably late. The reason Mailing carrying the Elmo is not enough. No. Mailing will work extra hard, especially if we offer her some more boost. She'll be like, more rice wine for me? Okay. Andres approaches the two of them and glances at her sensor. Andres projects the data from the sensor. Oops, my phone died. Oopsies. Dimitri realizes he was wrong about Andres and licks his lower lip awkwardly before clearing his throat. I like how Dimitri's like, you know what, Andres, you and I, we cool. Ahahaha.
アルゴリズムに従うだけのガラクタですから。
Dimitri sighs in relief after hearing the good news. He scratches his head in embarrassment, and his spirits seem to have lifted a little. There's a non-zero chance that Dimitri and the commander directly fought against each other. Oh, that's even more awkward. Kukai doesn't directly state her desired conclusion, but Dimitri looks away and lowers his voice. To the tunnels. Okay, I think I got there about half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, about half. Just making sure again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. That means if I start at like 7 AM, I'll have enough time to finish before work. Phoo. Yo, I got this. I'm gonna finish this event for sure. In the morning. Oh, my phone. My poor phone that died. Oops. I'm sorry, phone. I didn't mean to let you die like that. Yeah, they made part 2 surprisingly long. Hey, thank you. You know what? Let's try one time. Look how close I am to that... to getting an elite item. I'm so freaking close. You know, I'm gonna do it. Oversleeps. Oh, I will set multiple alarms. Oh, can it be? Blue. Stare. Daydream. Woohoo! Yay, now blue. Purple. Thank you. Blue. Purple. Blue. Ta-da! Okay, you know, I'm satisfied. That means I gotta really wake up in the morning to do this, because look at me summoning a thing. I kinda have to at this point. Okay. You know, I'm happy. Yay, that is a win. Yeah, let's see how the gacha gods act. Maybe they'll be nice. Fingers crossed. Just But no, it'll be fine. Gacha luck's gonna refresh at the beginning of the month, totally. For all of us, yeah. But for now, time to get ready for some Kamen Rider Wizard tonight. Woohoo! So with that being said, thank you for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of your epic gacha luck. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Gonna finish the event in the morning. Woohoo! I believe, and then I just need my phone to come back to life because oh my poor phone. I did not mean to let you die. Phone, I'm sorry. I wonder when it'll come back to life. phone dying earlier. Sorry, phone would like go down. They're on the red lights, okay?